Hi Indiana, just going through your work now. Just want to scrub through this now. I'm just going to go through what you've submitted. Now, you got the overall idea of bounce right, and the main thing is a concept that we're going to go through in class. It's called timing and spacing. What I recommend that you do for when you revisit this exercise is to think about the way things move. Things move in trajectories, and they also move through space at a certain speed and a certain time. So the sorts of things that you'd expect to see with this ball moving is that it would follow a certain trajectory. When it hits the ground, it's going to hit the ground and it's going to ricochet, and depending on the type of ball, it will bounce in a parabolic motion, and it will continue to bounce. Every time it bounces, it will lose a bit of energy and get smaller and smaller until it eventually rolls off the screen. The way that this ball moves in space is called, quite rightly, spacing. And what happens with the ball as it moves is the space between frames is quite tight here, and as it starts to head down towards the bottom, there's a greater space between the frames, to the point where you may not even see the hit on the ground. You may feel it, and you may actually see the ball coming up the opposite side, and the space between the frames is quite large until it starts to get to the top of the arc, and as it starts to come down, it experiences gravity, and it may come up again, bunch at the top, down at the bottom, bunch at the top, down at the bottom, bunch at the top. And what you end up getting, if I just want to go through your animation, is you would have a bunch at the top, and then as it comes down, you get your ball coming up, bunching at the top. Now I'm doing this blind. So the sort of thing you get is a bounce like that and a bounce like that. So the ball comes down, hits the top and bounces up and hits the top. Alright? So that's me just drawing that by hand, the sort of thing you'd experience with the bouncing ball. And the main thing, as you can remember from that original drawing, is that you want it to be following along that arc, and you want to make sure that the energy is bunched, the spacing is bunched at the top. When it hits the ground, it's traveling quite fast, and it hits the ground and then bounces up and then bounces like that. So if I was to continue that through, it would hit this one and then possibly get to the top of this next one, and then come down again, bounce over, and then maybe just roll off the screen in a fairly relaxed manner. So what we've got is a bounce, trying to follow along the same sort of arc, and then a roll. Okay, and you can do this with 3D exactly the same way. I'm doing it just drawing over the screen, but the same sort of thing applies. You'll have lagging up in the air, and so that when I play that, you get this feeling. Well, actually, you don't see my draw over, but you get that feeling that there's a bounce happening. Okay, and we'll go through that. And the trick in 3D is that you want to be able to not let the computer do all the work. See how I drew every single frame there? And in a way, the computer can help you to make sure that your trajectories follow along arcs. But the most important thing that you want to do with this is to make sure that you're in charge of your spacing. And this is going to apply right into the most advanced forms of character animation. So thank you for doing that, and I hope this helps you.